sometimes why I do those things.
Or
Hi,
did not.
everybody. Or did not do those things. Exactly. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Spirit Café Sessions with Nikki
Okay.
and Kim.
Yes.
As I'm
Still me.
shuffling my deck. Still
Still.
Kim. Just Nikki
Still
and
Kim.
still Kim.
Still Kim.
That's our new
I
thing.
don't change.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm excited for this episode because this was like an impromptu episode, Kim's idea. I think we talked about it way back when, but we never actually did anything with it. And it is a Q&A. So it is a whole bunch of questions that we got from clients, people listening to the podcast, questions that they want Kim to answer, questions they want me to answer, and questions they want both of us to answer. And we decided that this one was going to be a series. Like we'll try to do this like once every 2 months or something, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah. That would probably work.
Yeah. And there's no stupid questions, by the way. Anybody who's listening to this and then has questions to ask us, there's no stupid questions.
Yes. We might laugh, but no, I'm just kidding.
No. Oh my God. I actually have another question for the both of us that my editor threw at me today.
Oh, look at you.
So don't let me forget it because I don't have it written down. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, because it's such a good question too. And I told her we might actually do an episode on it. Because anyway, that's enough rambling.
We'll get there.
We will get there. We will get there. Okay. So, oh yeah, the tarot card, as I was shuffling, I'm kerfuffled today. I'm all over the place today. And 5 cards came out.
Oh, look at you,
Nicole. Ooh, I like the cards that came out. I'm pulling those. All right. Okay, I'm back.
Hi.
First card that comes out of the deck. The World card. I love it. That's the energy going into this week, and I actually do like it. We are heading towards the middle of April. We are heading towards one of my favorite seasons, Taurus season. So it's going to be quite calm and comfortable and steady and nice. But the World card pops up when we are moving into a new cycle in our life, which makes sense because we're in spring. And it firmly starts 1 year and we are firmly in the fire horse year. So for a lot of people, April and May is bringing in a lot of positive changes. April itself will be intense in a different way than March is. But the changes are going to lead to incredible things for so many people. So I feel like a lot of cycles are ending in people's lives. New cycles are beginning. This card did come out with the Magician. This is telling me a lot of the cycles that are beginning in people's lives are ones that you might have manifested, are ones that you prayed or wished for or hoped for. And that you are now going to see it come slowly into fruition. So these cards came out together. So I have to read them together. And I think it's great. Those is an amazing combo.
Yes, that sounds very good. Very good.
Yeah. And by the way, somebody told me that the last couple times I didn't talk about the tea that I drank. Is that true?
Oh, nuts. Well, I kind of remember asking you, but maybe not. What is this, like our 34th or 35th episode?
34th. 33 went last week. 33. And that's what my editor said today. She said to me, "What are you guys almost 40 episodes in? How did that happen? I feel like I was just talking to you about this." And I was like, "I know." Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm drinking orange pico tea with milk. Decaf because, and let's hope this is not the case, but I've been feeling weird the last couple days, sneezing a lot. I really thought that it was allergies. Don't think it's allergies. So really crossing my fingers that I am not catching anything.
You shouldn't be having milk then.
I know, but I can't have when I have orange pico, I have to have it with milk or I have to have it with honey and turmeric and ginger. But I've been having that all day.
Okay.
My pee's going to be yellow soon. Yellow, orange.
Okay.
Anyway, TMI, Nicole. Stop talking. Okay. All right. Let's get to the questions. Okay. Do you want to go like one at a time? So Kim has the questions for me. I have the questions for Kim. And we both have the questions for the both of us.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So do you want me to go first?
You want me to ask you first? I can do that.
No, I'll ask you first.
Okay. Well, you can ask me first.
Okay. There's one in here that is one of my favorites because I've asked you this. I asked you this right when we met. So I'm saving that one.
Okay.
Okay. All right. How do I connect to my spirit guide, Kim? I don't think it's working when I try meditations or I even try to pray.
Well, I gotta say, absolutely, you need to take the pressure off yourself because you can. It is. This is some. Your spirit guide has been with you since you incarnated in this plane.
Baby.
So you have chosen. They have chosen to be with you, and you've chosen them. Okay. So just take, just like just get rid of all this negativity, right? Like, oh, they're not coming. I think that really does cause you to question, and you need to start to trust. Okay. So you just take your deep breath in, and if you don't know your spirit guide's name, that's when you will kind of just take a breath in and you just sit quiet and say, "What is your name? Can I ask your name?" And you just wait.
It's never the name you think.
No. And it will come in probably really fast
Yes.
and take the first thing that comes through your mind. Okay.
Yes.
If you really want to go through it, I think it's episode 5. We have Reverend Richard Lanigan, and he actually will bring you through the whole procedure to connect with your spirit guide.
It's amazing.
Yes. If you know your spirit guide, you know who they are. This is when you need to start kind of talking to them. So you get yourself in, in a comfortable place, somewhere where you don't have any distractions. You're calm, and you may have meditated if you want. But that's when you say, show me, say your spirit guide's name's Apple. Apple, show me how I will know you're here, and sit quiet. You might notice feel like little bugs in your
Yeah.
hair. You might feel like something on your cheek. You might just feel a pressure on your back. There might just some small subtle thing, and just pay attention to how you feel. And then after that, when you do know, or when you're wanting to know if they are, you say, "Are you here?" Or you might just be sitting there and feel that feeling, and then you can say hello,
Yep.
whoever it is. So you really just got to talk to them because you've ignored them for how many ever years you've been alive. And so you got to get you got to get your communication together. They've been trying so hard, you've been completely ignoring them. So this is the problem, right? So you need to start to open up and allow them to come in and show you that they're there. And
I like that.
don't feel silly about asking them these, because they're here for you. They're not judgmental. Probably a little disappointed because you ignore them for so long, but that'll get better, and you will work out something. And then, maybe ask for things. I know when I first was getting to know my spirit guide, weird things would happen in my house. I'm not sure if I've talked about this stuff before, but
Tell it again.
there was, it was before we had children, and there was a room that we would always close the door. And this door came home. Nobody had been to our house. Neither of us had been there, but the door was open slightly. And I'm like, a little weird, right? What's going on here? And little things like that made me kind of think. And I would say to my husband at the time, like, "Did you do that?" "Nope, nope, no, I didn't do that." And then he would go outside and have cigarettes, right? And one day there was a poop on the chair. Just laid nicely on the chair, like where he always sat. And he was like, "Somebody pooped on my chair." I'm like, "Is this somebody's gonna poop on your chair?" Like, I
Right.
don't know, right? So then all of a sudden, all this kind of started swirling in my head, and I just went, and I said to my spirit guide, "Is this you?" And he said, "Yes." And that's when I found out that my spirit guide has a sense of humor and likes to
I
mess
love
with
that.
me. So, just you'll get that feeling. You just got to get used to working with them. And it's going to be clunky at first because it's just like when you start to date somebody, or you
Yeah, it's like
meet
a
somebody at the
relationship.
first
Yeah.
time, you're not really sure. But just know that they're there for your best interest, and they're not going to ghost you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to
It's
be
not a
there.
situationship.
Yeah, yeah. They're actually there. They're not going to ghost you. They're not going to like put it all in and then suddenly be gone. They are with you for the ride. So,
I love that.
and they're trying to steer you. So just know that like this is just something that you need to work on, and just take all that pressure away, thinking that you're not doing it right, or You're not talking to them because you're just not understanding their signs or
Right. Right.
their ways of showing you how they're there.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Are you
All
going to
right.
ask for me or should we do it both?
Well, I can ask you now. I'll
Okay.
ask
You
you a
ask me.
question. All right, Nikki, do you ever have trouble reading people?
Um, I don't know if I would phrase it that way, trouble. There have been instances where I've picked up on energy that's attached to, I guess, the my client that is not there. So, an example I can give is I had predicted, and it's always, I'll be honest, it's always with the same clients I find that this is happening. It's very rare, but it does happen. I do have one client I've been reading for quite a long time. Wonderful, wonderful woman. And so many things that I predicted in her life, from an accident that someone was going to have, to a business that was going to fail, to a business that was going to prosper. It happened to people outside of her, while oddly enough my cards were telling me it was going to happen to her, but she was the one who got into the accident. She was the one whose business was not picking up, and then somebody she didn't like, their business was skyrocketing and stuff like that. So I wouldn't call that trouble so much as, and it's something that I read once, it's called like energy interference. It's basically if the client itself is too attached to somebody else's energy, or to an energetic wave, which basically means like it's a thought. If you are constantly thinking something not in your favor, I will pick up on that. The cards will pick up on that. So it's not in the sense that I have trouble reading someone, so much as sometimes I'll mix up energy, maybe. It's accurate, but I'll pick up that it's happening to someone else related to them instead of them. It's rare, but in this case of this one client, it did happen, and it actually happened again recently with her. And I actually looked into that, and there was some very experienced tarot readers that I do speak with, and they told me, oh, that's an energy wave. That's what we call it. This is what it means. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, and explains a lot, especially when it comes to this client. So I do feel like that has happened. I don't feel like trouble reading energy. It's different when you're a tarot reader because you have tools in a sense, than it is a medium. I feel like you know what I mean? It's a little bit different with the trouble aspect,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No,
right?
I understand
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And go back and listen to our previous episode because Kim talks about that. All right, let's do a both.
All right.
Okay, you want to read the both?
Sure. Let's see here. All right, Nikki, do you ever get bored?
Of tarot? No. No, because it's different for everyone, even if it doesn't seem like it. So even though majority of my clients, yes, they come to me for love readings. Everybody knows this. I don't care. It's fine. You know, one of my favorite scenes ever in every movie is the opening of Eat, Pray, Love, or the book of that, where she's talking about how her friend, who's a guidance counselor, she was counseling all these women who came from a war-torn country, and she had to teach them how to relive their, like, how to start from scratch, how to get a job, how to speak English, and the number one question they had on her mind was about their love lives. Never mind leaving a war-torn country,
Yeah.
about their menfolk.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
All right. So, even when 95% of my questions are about somebody's love life, it's always different enough that I don't get bored. So I don't. No. Plus, I love it. I love it. I've loved it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it for 20 years, right?
Absolutely.
Kim?
Absolutely.
Kim, do you get bored?
Absolutely not. Not with mediumship. Every time I do a reading for someone, it's always exciting, because I know that I'm going to be able to give them a start to healing, or just some kind of a spark.
Yeah.
And if I'm not going to, I know that there's a reason for the person being connected to me. And very often I get lessons myself through these readings. A lot of times I feel like when I'm giving the reading, Spirit's also looking at me going, hey, you're speaking this out of your mouth, but this is for you too. Just like my thrift store, my thrift store analogy. So no, No, I don't. It's such an honor, and I don't think people really realize that. I try to say that when I've given people reading because it really is, but it's such an honor to be allowed into someone's world to read for them something that can be so amazingly healing, touching, just
Hmm.
profound. And to allow me to give me that opportunity, it's just the biggest honor. So I would never get bored of that.
No, I don't. I can't imagine that you would. But it's an interesting question
It
because
is.
I feel like maybe people feel like sometimes it's a job, but it's not a job in that sense. Like I have a full-time job. Kim has a full-time job. So we don't see this as jobs,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
maybe that's what people meant.
Yeah.
All right. Ready, Kim, for your next question?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Which one do I want to ask you?
Well,
Okay, you see, all these ones are good. All right. Okay, we'll
excuse
start
me.
with this one because it's funny.
Okay.
Because I'm my two favorite ones, and I want
Okay.
to ask them last. Okay, Kim.
Okay.
We're not going to say who said the questions, people. It's all anonymous to you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe in haunted places? I know Nikki does. Ha ha ha. I do. Do you, Kim? And maybe explain what you think they are if you do or you don't.
I believe that they exist. I believe that people do experience them. I have been since I have come, because to me, haunting is like a bad thing, right?
Yeah, I don't
And
use that word
and
haunted.
really like
Haunted. Yeah.
um so I don't believe that there's energy sitting there ready to be mean to you. So I don't believe in
No.
that. Like, and
It's
that's
not like
what,
The
when I hear
Conjuring.
haunting,
No.
that's what I think, right? Like, oh, is this like a horror story?
Yeah.
But so I do believe that people experience
Okay.
spirit in different ways. And but it's just, haunting just really sounds like it's scary. I believe definitely that I can communicate with people, and that spirits communicating with you,
Mhm.
and that's presence of spirit. So absolutely, right? And now, if you're talking about an actual location that's primarily, for that's experienced with the afterlife, I have gone to places where everybody else has, or a lot of other people have, and I haven't experienced anything. And I do believe that is because I intentionally keep my vibrations very high. So they don't, these are lower vibrations. So I'm not going to be affected by lower vibrations when I'm keeping it high.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly that.
Yeah. However, there is that story that I have told before about when I was at the Whaley House in
Hmm.
San Diego with my mom, and it's, what do they call it? The world's, is it America's most haunted house?
One of the most haunted houses in America. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's we talked about it in I think the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
So this house is supposedly, one of the, or is supposedly the most
The
haunted
most
house in
haunted.
America. And there's a few stories to it. And we had gone through the house. We had some things happen. When the guy was talking to us outside, the door behind him into the court, what was the old courtroom kind of thing, opened slightly. There was, we went through the whole house. I didn't notice anything. But then we went to the little shop, the gift store
Hmm.
next door, and we were looking at things. And that's when I was with my mom. I had drug her there. My sister had gone on a wine tour, so like, come on, mom. And so I had saw a deck of, it was just the regular, is it Rider Waite tarot cards, right? And I just
Yep.
kind of looked at them and I just stuck them back on the shelf. And it was like a bookshelf.
Hmm.
So I just stuck them back, but I stuck them back into the back of it, kind of, like, just so that it was over there. And then I continued to look, and then uh, I was kind of staring. My mom was sort of looking that direction. I was kind of looking at other stuff in that direction, and there was the cashier lady, and the cards flew out off of the shelf and onto the floor. And my mom almost, I think, she almost experienced
Passed out. Yeah.
afterlife right there at that point.
Yeah.
And I just started laughing. So I said, "Oh, this is crazy. Like I never saw anything when I was in the house, but this is happening." And my mom, she's freaking. I'm like, "It's just spirit saying hi. Like they're just
Yeah,
showing you
yeah,
what
yeah,
they
yeah,
do."
yeah.
So so just so it's really hard to say if I believe it or not, because I don't believe, like, I don't even know the language to use. I don't believe that they're there in a harmful sense. I do
Yeah.
believe that spirit's going to be there to interact with you. And yeah, there's definitely going to be homes or places that have some sort of a residual or some
Yep.
kind of an energy that you're carrying that it is matching.
Absolutely.
And I absolutely don't know everything. I don't tend to believe myself things until I have actually experienced them. I have experienced stuff, but like I said, I used to watch Ghost Hunters, all those shows and everything. And, some of them are a little spooky, but those are very much to terrify you, right? None
Yeah.
of those are, they don't ever have the friendly lady who used to always make pancakes. So in the morning you wake up and you always smell pancakes and cigarettes, right? Like, because she was a
Yeah.
chain smoker. Like they don't talk about that when they do these shows. So that's not their bread and butter. Nobody really wants to watch that, I guess. People are more in there to be scared. So I do believe that spirit and energies can be in a place. I don't believe that they are there purposely to harm you. And I really do say, if you think you're in a place that does that, talk to them.
Hmm.
Just talk to them and be open and just try to keep your vibration high and
There you go.
see what you can get. So I don't know if that really helps you any for an answer, but because
It helps.
because it's just, you know in life, for most things, and I'm sure Nikki will agree, nothing is just like
Gray.
black and white, right?
It's all
Nothing's
gray.
just,
All
yeah.
gray.
And but it's
Everything.
gray and multicolored. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
there's so many things, and just as a human being, your experiences can just be so vast.
Yep.
So don't ever discount something that you feel in your heart is something that is true or valid.
Yep.
And, if it's something that makes you excited, have fun, enjoy, go do it.
Perfect.
If it's that, then do that.
I think that answers it.
Okay. All
Kim
right.
sort of believes.
Well, it's so funny because it's nothing is just so
I know.
yeah. So I will go into haunted house. I don't care. Darn it. I tried to get stuff. All right, Nikki. How do you meditate? Miss Get Up at 5
Uh,
a.m.
yeah, I am. I'm part of the 5 a.m. club. I get that question all the time. When I started, I was 30. Uh, I had a very severe panic attack, actual panic attack when I was 30 because of issues going on with my life. And got diagnosed with anxiety. And I don't have anxiety. I perform on stage. I talk to people every day. What is this anxiety? What? Me? Turns out that's not what anxiety means. So, I did not want to go on medication. I felt it wasn't for me and I didn't need it at that time. So I did yoga because, it helps with your nervous system and breathing techniques. And then, of course, with my amazing yoga teacher, Joy said, you got to try meditation and Reiki and stuff. So, it was a struggle for me to start meditation because I have a monkey mind. My Gemini moon, I have a Gemini moon, and anyone that knows anything about birth charts knows that, oh my God, this is why Nikki can't probably only sleeps 4 hours a night. So it took me a good 6 months to actually learn how to meditate. And I kid you guys not, I read books. I did the guided meditations. I went to meditation classes at the yoga studio. I did it all. And the one thing that worked, and I kid you not, is repetition and consistency. And that's why I push it so much with anything still. There were times I really wanted to give up because I would start to meditate, listen to music, and then I would start thinking about groceries or my kids, or I would start thinking about my deadline. And I couldn't get myself into that space because, as Kim said with her first question, don't pressure yourselves. So when you're trying to meditate, I guarantee you're pressuring yourself. Don't do that. Just sit there and listen to the music, because I really started to learn how to meditate 6 months later when I stopped feeling the pressure and I sat there in that meditation pose, I changed up my hands as well. I didn't do the same position, but and I just listened to whatever Hertz music I was in the background or whatever guided meditation it was. I just listened. I had no expectations, and that was it. That was all it took for me. It was not as difficult as I was making it out to be. Okay. And now I meditate 2, 3 times a week. Sometimes I go a full week without it. But I've been doing it for 8 years now, on and off. And it's the same thing. I still do it. I still get up and I just start by listening to it. And I do have a place in my mind. I have 2 places in my mind that I go to very vividly. They're my 2 meditation spots. And that's it. That's it. That's literally how we started. You don't need any gimmicks. You don't need gimmicks. You don't need to hold crystals. You don't need to burn sage and Paleo Santo before each session. You can if you want, but you don't need to. Okay? So it's a very personal experience. Is it?
Well, absolutely. And it is something that you really need to not pressure yourself about. Because I know when I first started and I started at doing yoga, my brain was going 100 miles a minute, like just and
with
you know,
mine.
like, and then you start thinking like, why did I say that when I was like 5 years old? You know, like you just get into the most ridiculous stuff, right? So I would just kind of yell at myself in my head, you know, like, come on, stop, you know, get yourself under control. And then when I did that enough, then I was able to do it. And I don't see things. So a lot of people, I've seen people saying like guided meditation, oh, like I don't see things in my head, like I don't see pictures in my head. It's nothing, like there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I had to kind of adapt to that because
Yeah.
everybody expects that you see. So I would just basically let it go into that, and I would just kind of zone out, and
Yeah,
I would
that makes
just
sense.
and just zone out as much as I could, and just kind of like take my, almost like take
Yeah.
my mind to the actual words that were coming out, like just kind of separated. And then that's how I got into the meditation. So,
That makes sense.
you know,
That makes sense.
it's just like the words just kind of grabbed me and pulled me away, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's almost like I made everything blurry
Mm-hmm.
so that I could just hear the words. And
Yeah.
then, you know, that's all that comes through. So, you know, if I know this was your question, but
No,
I do know
there.
that I have seen
Here.
people saying, I actually saw a couple days ago, like I have, was it aphasia or something?
Oh yeah, yeah.
When you don't see, right? You don't
Yep.
see.
Yep.
And the lady said, I have that. How am I supposed to, you know, how am I supposed to meditate? And I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, you just gotta let it go and zone out.
Yeah.
And, you know, and once you get used to that,
That's it.
then
That's literally it. Let it go.
off with the horses. Yeah.
Literally, that's it. Let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a both?
I do have a both. I do have a both. Which one do I want to answer? I feel like one of them will be a short answer for Kim and one of them will be a long answer. But the long answer is one that I think is important. I'm going to go with the long answer one.
Okay.
Ready? It's also a little personal. Does your family have issues with you being an energy reader and a medium? Yes, but I don't care. And it's not my whole family. Half of my family doesn't care. I think it's cool. Runs in the family. The other half of the family, super Catholic, super. So they care, but I don't. So I was raised to not care about others' opinions. So it doesn't bother me. But I know that it's rare, and I know through therapy that a lot of people are not in the situation that I'm in. And it's a struggle for them when they start doing these things. So I'm aware and I try to give the best advice possible. But full disclosure, I was raised differently where if somebody doesn't believe what I'm doing, I'm like, I don't care. So it probably Kim should answer this one a little bit more than.
It's my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
All right.
that's true. For me, yes. My immediate family, they they're totally fine with it. They you know, they ask questions, they seem okay with it. I have like outer family who, no, 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 no. They're not, they, I haven't specifically told them, but I know that this is something that they would not agree with. However, that being said,
I love that.
I have a grandmother who was extremely religious, very Christian, um, German Church of God. It would, and that's almost like I almost want to say it's like the almost like the Seventh Day
I was gonna
Adventist.
say, yes, it is.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, it's
there's like, no earrings. I couldn't wear a Michael Jackson t-shirt because, that I was gonna go
yeah,
to the fiery place.
yeah,
Having makeup, anything, tattoos, anything
yeah,
like bad, bad, bad. And they didn't watch TV, they didn't
yeah.
read books or anything like that. So, that's that was my grandmother, and my grandmother passed away in 2009. My actual journey for this kind of started in 2000. I'm sure it started sooner, but like
Sure.
where I can actually start to go, hey, look, this is what's going on, probably about 2011.
Mhm.
And so it was very shortly after. And when I started actually working with it, going to the church and doing that and getting readings, my grandmother is always the first one out there. She's the first one
Okay,
out
I
there.
know the story.
She's there. She's telling me, everything. And she has come across in reading. She has told me stuff that's going to happen in my life.
Mhm.
And where I'm thinking, if I'm getting the reading going, I don't think you're talking to my grandma. And then I find out, then something happens, and then she's like completely, it's her who's doing these things, or
Mhm.
this is exactly what she's told me. So that makes me care less about the people who are
Mm. I love that.
looking at me with, like, oh, you're bad, because I know
Devil.
that when you cross over, this won't be a concern. So why should I be concerned
Yeah,
with
100%.
something that you have fear based, that you have somehow acquired, whether, and it's, legitimately, you've been told this, like if you're part of any type of religion, you're told that this is bad. And, you know, and to be a minister, it's funny because when I say to people, oh yeah, I'm a minister, they automatically think I'm a Christian minister. Right. So
Yes, they
people are
do.
really careful what they say. And it's like, don't worry about it. Like, what's
Yeah,
wrong
don't need
with
to
you?
tiptoe around
And
Kim.
I can feel the very uncomfortableness, right? When if I say that to people. So yeah, my family, my immediate family, yeah, like they're fine with it. Anybody who isn't, I like Nikki, I really don't care, because I know that when they cross over, that they're
They're
gonna
like, hi, Kim.
see what is, yeah, they're gonna see
Kim.
what it is, and then see that it's
I
not
love that.
scary, and know that they were just fed fear-based propaganda, dogma.
There you go. That's
Hmm.
I like that. Fear based. That's exactly what it is. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Hmm.
Neither of us really care.
No, I
No.
don't care. I love
Yeah.
it. Is that song?
Yeah. I know that's a good one. All right. Is it you to ask me or is it now I lost the order?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
You
asking
ask
you.
me now.
Okay. All right, Nikki. This isn't me, but this is somebody else.
Okay.
Maybe it's me. I don't think so. I think I'm obsessed with readings. I spent way
Uh
too much. What do I do?
we've talked about this in podcast.
Mhm.
Um the last one we talked about it too, right? Yeah, I did. We did.
Maybe, yeah.
Aye. First of all, I have my own opinions on what tarot readers should be charging. I'll be the first one to say some of them charge an exceedingly high amount for quick readings. They shouldn't be. But I have had many clients come to me with that. I spent all this money. I'm obsessed. I'm going on TikTok. I'm doing the yes or no's that Kim's talked about in previous ones. You're going to have to delete the apps. Delete the apps. I am one of those readers. I cut off clients if they are coming to me 2, 3 times a week for a tarot reading. Once in a while, because you're having an emergency and you need help, I'll help you. But if you're coming to me 2, 3 weeks in a row, I'm cutting you off and I will tell you I'm not reading for you anymore. Not many tarot readers do that. Hardly any. So if you do find yourself spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars, delete the apps. Get rid of the Etsy, get rid of the TikTok, get rid of the Instagram, however you're booking it, get rid of it. Tell somebody. Okay. I've had clients actually tell people, and I thought this was great. Like a support person, like in their life, they would be like, I'm spending too much. And then if they really needed one, this person in a sense would book for them and kind of control it in a way. And it's just to kind of detox them, because tarot readings, they can become an addiction just like anything else, right? Just like anything else. So my thing of advice is tell your tarot reader that you think you're getting addicted. If there's one that you go to and you feel comfortable telling, tell them. I've had clients be like, Nikki, I think I'm getting addicted. And I will be like, then you're only getting one reading every 2 weeks. You're not, I don't care. You could send me $100. I'm sending it back. I've had to do that. Any tarot reader that is in it for the right reasons will do the same thing. And they'll be like, okay, if you think you're addicted, we're done. We're done for a month. We're done. Okay, they will help you because they don't want you to be addicted to it if they are genuine, because they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it to help you, and they're doing it because it's fun for them. They don't want tarot to become an addiction, because if something's addiction, it's very rarely a positive one, if ever.
Yeah.
Right? So delete, 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 and tell somebody. Also, don't be embarrassed. It happens all the time. Right, Kim? All the time. Don't be embarrassed.
Unfortunately, the way our world is set up right now, everybody needs things fast now, done, and that's
Exactly.
they're pulling you in, right?
That's
And
right.
you know,
100%.
if you start listening, start thinking, why are you so addicted to them? Is it because you're just trying to get an answer you want, or because you've suddenly decided that the answer you got wasn't good enough and you need to know more? I think you need to find out why you keep wanting to get the readings,
Got
you
it.
know,
Yeah.
because so many people, they just want to hear a certain thing, so they'll just keep getting other readings from different people and things
Yeah.
like that.
Especially if you tell them the wrong answer.
Yeah, yeah, and then they will spin out. And I have talked about this before, like even with the yes and no's. These people are just yes, no, yes, no. They don't care. Like, do not. They're just giving out what they are. I don't necessarily. I don't believe that it's fail safe. They're just randomly giving out stuff. And quite frankly, if people are going to give them their money or whatever, they're going to just keep doing it, and it works for them, right? A lot of these people do this full time.
Yes, they do. Okay, are you done? Because I'm so excited for your next question.
Sure.
People are like, Nicole's getting antsy there. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Okay. I was gonna wait because you have one more, but just in case we run out of time, I wanna ask you the last two questions that I am like super excited for.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this one first. Sorry.
All right.
All right. And this is a client of mine that is a true crime junkie. So when she sent me this, I started laughing because I was like, I knew it. I knew it. But I asked him this once or several times, so I don't feel bad. So this client of mine, and it's actually Stacy, she's come up quite a few times. She wants to know, Kim, if you have ever helped the police with
Uh,
your skills.
I have not. I've done. S- I've done.
Private.
Yeah, yeah, like for
Yeah.
people who maybe somebody's missing or
Yeah.
whatever, and people have asked as a group, like, what do you think? But
You want to
I,
tell a little bit, or do you not want to?
well, I really just, I find that to be a very like, I am worried because I'm not perfect. And, unless I have, I'm feeling confident in something or whatever, um, I don't want to be giving an answer that is potentially going to devastate or give somebody false hope.
Right,
And
right.
so I think that fear in me of being wrong puts a block, right? So,
You with something so serious. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so people
Yeah.
will
I get
ask
it.
me, like, oh, do you know what's going on with this person or whatever? And I'm like, like, and I don't even really like to say, are they alive or are they passed
Yes.
away? Because I really struggle with that. I do have a friend who she, one time had a really close friend who had been missing, and she was pretty sure that something bad had happened to him. And I just kept getting that he was like where there was gravel and water, and I felt that he had been ingesting different things, but I didn't feel that he was passed away. And
Right, right,
because
right.
she knows who I am, I just quickly said, well, this is what I got. And she's like, oh, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, okay, whatever. But they did find him. He was alive, and he was pretty much in the same situation that I felt. So, like that he had been gone, and he was just, doing stuff on his own,
Yeah.
and not being friendly. Probably lucky that he didn't pass away just from the amount he was doing. But
Right.
that
Oh, geez.
is kind of one of those things that I can't. I'd be just too scared, because
Yeah.
you hurt like Sylvia Brown, things like that, right? I don't
Oh,
want to be
right.
that
Yeah.
person, right?
Yeah.
And just to see how badly you could affect somebody, like I take
Oh,
this very
oh.
seriously. And
Yeah.
when somebody's missing, or you're not sure if they're alive or dead, or, whatever they're doing, the people who are coming for help are so tied to this, and they just so desperately want like a good message, or
Yeah. It's
whatever.
true. Yeah.
And I think I just have too much empathy, and I will just feel their pain inside of me, before I would be able to give them too much information, because
Yeah.
it's a horrible, horrible situation for any human being to
Yeah.
be in. Your dog goes missing for like 5 minutes, or your kids go missing for like 5 minutes. You don't see
Oh my
them. You
God.
fly into panic, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I would hate to be somebody who would contribute to some negative experience for someone like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I do.
Yeah.
You see why I was excited about that question? Sorry. All right. My turn for both. Is it both time now? It's both, right? Or do you
No,
ask?
I
You going
ask
for both?
you. I ask you first.
No, you did. Didn't you ask me one already? Look at guys, we lost the order.
Okay.
Somebody's
Well,
shouting
I
as they're
thought
listening.
I thought that was, oh, okay. Well, okay, it's my both.
Okay, you're both.
Okay.
You're both.
Okay, here we go. All right. Nikki, do you believe in God?
Oh yeah, this one. I do, but not in the sense that most people do. And I know Kim is almost the same. I don't believe in a man in the sky. I don't. I know if you do, that's great. To me, God is it's eternal. It's consciousness. It's energy. It's that. I don't believe in heaven and hell like people do. I just it's not feasible. So I do believe in God, but I do pray, but it is not religious, and I don't believe in God in a religious way. So let's put it that way. If you want, you can say that I believe in energy, but energy is God. So I do believe in God, but it's not the way that most people do. So, but I do pray. I love churches. I think they're beautiful, beautiful art, work of arts. That's what I call them because to me that they are. Their history is phenomenal. Be it sometimes edgy, intense, but I like the. I think I like the concept of religion, but I don't like what we've done with it as a human race. We just did not good things with that concept. But I do like learning about religions. I do like learning about other gods and goddesses. I fascinates me. But I do believe in God, just not in the way that I guess most people would. And I believe in angels as well. Just again, not in the way most people would. So, Cam?
I believe in a higher form of intelligence. I believe in a creator. Um, I believe that there is a central source
Yeah.
to spirit, where it comes from. And, when being a minister, I believe in God. That doesn't mean that anybody who's a minister needs to believe in God, but just I do personally believe in a God, or
Yeah.
that like I
There's
call it
God.
God,
God's there.
So,
Yeah.
different cultures call it creator, infinite being,
Yep.
Like there's so many different names that they will call uh this source.
Hmm.
Some people call it source, right? So
Yep.
yes, like I do believe. I also like Nikki, I don't believe that there is a God who would harm you because
No.
of certain things that you would do in your life. I don't believe that they would send you to some fiery place because you did something bad. Um, like that's all just fear based, and God is not something to be feared. God is something
No,
to
absolutely not.
be, I guess, revered, right? And to be
Yeah. Yeah.
um, taken in and to like surround yourself with in a positive, healthy um, frame of mind.
Yeah.
And to just know that he's, that it could be he, she, I don't know, but it's just source, right? I don't believe, again, like I don't believe that there's a hell. I don't, I just, heaven, we just call heaven because people talk about heaven. But really, spirit goes to beside us. But, there's nobody sitting there trying to decide which way you go. Are
Yeah.
you going to go up? You're going to go down? Just like I don't believe that, you don't get your business done, or you got something. So you're roaming in the middle forever. Like that doesn't happen either, in my opinion, because that is something
Limbo.
also that really affects people. And so these beliefs are fear based. And so my version of God is not something that you would fear.
I like that. I like that very much. Okay. Next one. Is that
That's,
me asking you or you asking me?
I think I need to ask you.
Okay, go ahead, ask me.
All right, Nikki, would you ever combine tarot, true crime, and the supernatural?
Um, how would I combine them though? Um,
A book?
I knowing me, yeah, I probably would try in a book. I probably would I don't think I can do it in a podcast. I don't think so. I mean, yeah, I'd have to do it in a book because I'm thinking like how could I combine it? I mean, I guess I could in a podcast, but I feel like if I were to combine those, they're it's kind of two different things or three different things in a sense. In a sense. They're three different things. I would I could try. I would try, and if I did it would be through a book like Kim said, because a podcast wise, I mean combining true crime and the supernatural, it's been done in podcasts, so you can do that. Um but yeah, that was an interesting question to me because when I read that I was like, how in the world would I have done that? But Kim, you're right. I would have done it would have been through a book. It's the only way. Well, through one of my novels, yeah. And I
Well,
do want to write urban fantasy one day, so maybe.
I do think, like with true crime, supernatural,
Hmm.
uh, most people, when you do have the podcasts that do talk about it, the supernatural is usually like the occults and negative stuff again,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
nothing.
Possessions and
Yeah, yeah, and crime is a negative
mm,
thing, right?
mm.
So I guess there would be a reason for it, but yeah, like I think they'd be just a little bit too different to really
Yeah,
be able to marry them together. Um,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But it's interesting. It's an interesting concept, and maybe something I should think about because I three things that I'm very much so interested in. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that question. Let's go on.
Don't be the
All
shiny
right.
person in the room.
Ru-
Don't you lie about me.
I would not. Okay, Kim. This one,
Hmm.
I have to ask you this one. I have to ask you this one because I just I just loved it.
Okay.
Okay. Um, Kim, it's against my culture, basically religion, to connect to spirits, but I do want to try a session or try to connect to my loved ones anyway. What advice would you give for someone in a situation like me? This
So,
is a very good client of mine, by the way, who's opening up into spirituality.
okay. So when you're talking about this, do you mean as in getting a reading, someone
She
giving you a reading, or
both.
your own connection?
She wants both because she is somebody who does want to reach out to you to a reading, and she
Okay,
also
okay,
wants to learn. But
okay.
she did say Catholic.
Oh
I
yeah,
can tell
no,
you they're very Catholic.
yeah, yeah.
So
Well, I would say, you know, even though you have those beliefs, there's nothing wrong with changing your mind or changing your beliefs. If it's something that you feel or that you're interested in, it's obviously something that you're not scared of. You're just scared of the repercussions if other people find out that you're doing it. Is kind of the sense I
good
get.
point. Yeah.
Uh, you know, or people say, "Oh, you're silly, you're being taken advantage of," because people think every medium's going to rip you off. I can guarantee you I won't.
No, she won't.
And know that it's not supposed to be a scary thing. It's done in love. It's all love. And that's where I come from. Spirit is love. And when you go back into spirit, you're not gonna be worried about who's gonna be there, who isn't gonna be there, because it's love. You're going back into that love. You're going back to all those people who love you, and that energy. So if you maybe just approach it from there and realize, what's holding me back? What makes me think that this is scary? Is it because they told me if I do, I'm gonna, lightning bolt will come through me or whatever?
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that won't happen. I have been to Catholic funerals since I've become a minister, and more than one, and
Still here.
I'm still here. I was kind of laughing at some of the stuff that was being said, but
No, yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
But I think I think you're changing your mind, and you need,
That's okay,
and
right?
your opinions on everything, and that's the way it is. That is healthy, and so just go in it with knowing that you're just open to the possibilities of what it's going to provide, and it's not scary. They're not going to come and be
No.
mean to you. They're not. The spirit doesn't sit there and embarrass you or do any of that stuff, right? They're very, 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 they're beautiful. They just love you, and they just want you to have all the love that you deserve.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's all I would say. Just try it. Just try it.
Yeah.
And maybe if you have in your area, see if there's any spiritualist churches, maybe that are doing a course, psychic development or something like that. And, maybe take it and kind of learn parts of it. And once you kind of learn parts of it and see that you can work with it, then you won't be scared anymore.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Um, and a lot of people are nervous when they ask me about booking with Kim. They've never done it, so they ask me a bunch of questions and they say that they're scared, right? Um, so what we're gonna do for one episode, and maybe we'll do it for the next one, is Kim is going to give me a medium reading, and we're gonna record it so you guys can see that how, first of all, fun it is, because it is, and how Kim works and how it is so not scary. Complete opposite that like you're gonna be booking. So we're gonna do that because we get that question a lot. We've actually had
Yeah.
people ask that at the end of episodes,
Hmm.
right? I'm scared. How do I do it? How do I not be scared of it? And there's nothing to be scared of. I think that parts of society made it seem scary. Movies made it scary. TV shows made it scary.
Well,
Certain podcasts made it scary.
I think really what the problem is that uh certain religions, Christianity, things like that, have come in and they have said no one should talk to spirit. Only
Yeah.
us. Only us. Only we. You have to be special to talk to spirit. And if you're doing it and you're not special, then it's bad.
Yeah.
And they just do that because they don't if you start awakening and you start figuring out, like, it's like what's behind the curtain. It's like Wizard of
Mhm.
Oz, and you're like, oh, it's just like some little short guy. He's not scary at
Yeah.
all. They're scared that that's what you are gonna see. that you are
Yeah.
going to
Good
see
point.
it, and then you can overthrow them, or you're going to not listen to them. And I think that's really what's happening, where people are becoming awake now. And that's why there's such a back and forth, because people are going, oh my gosh, why have I been living in fear for this many years?
Yeah.
There's
For
nothing to
no
be
reason.
afraid of. But that's what they have done, especially because you said you were Catholic, or in the Catholic
Yes.
religion. That
It's a big
that
no-no.
everybody is psychic. You're born psychic. That's your
Oh yeah.
intuition. That's why,
Mhm.
the cavemen ran when they knew that there was a big saber-toothed tiger coming after them, or
Yeah.
whatever, right? And, or, sometimes you'll be sitting there going, yeah, these are my plans. I need to do this. But then you think,
Mhm.
oh, I don't think I want to go today. And then you find out something
Mhm.
happened, or you decide to take another way to work. That's not scary. Isn't that
Mm.
advantageous? So,
Oh yeah.
you know,
It is.
when you start,
Yeah.
and that's how you really just kind of start doing it. And, I you can speak with your loved ones. So, some of us just have been able to have been given this beautiful gift that we're able to do that. And, I don't think that there's anybody, if they wanted to, couldn't do it, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
like
I
that.
agree with you. Yeah.
And you just some of us get this feeling, sense that this is something bigger than us, and this is something that we need to share, and share, and it's all love. If it was
Mhm.
scary or bad things happen and stuff like that, I sure the heck wouldn't be doing it, because
Yeah. There you go.
I'm the biggest chicken there
Yeah.
is. I'm the kid who was pretty much spraining my ankle every single time I turned off a light in my basement when I was a kid, because I was
Shoo,
trying to
right
get
up
up
the
the
stairs.
stairs, pretty much like smashing my face on the stairs trying to get up there.
I love it.
Like I was
Yeah.
terrified of something, and
Yeah.
so I wouldn't be doing it.
No.
So I just
So there you guys go.
open up and think, like, how amazing would it be if you
Mhm.
started listening to those little hunches, or you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I had a feeling, but I should have, you
Oh
know,
well. That's it. That's your intuition. Your intuition is, in a sense, as Kim said, psychic.
Mhm.
That's it.
Well, it
That's
is.
it.
That's what it is, right?
Oh,
So,
100%.
so there's no need to be scared, and you
Hmm.
can use it for good, not evil.
Yes, please don't do that.
No,
Please.
no.
Okay, so there, I think two. How many? Do you have questions left over there?
Um, One, and then you said there was another one you forgot to put down.
I know, but we might run way out of overtime. But what? Okay, wait a second here. I have a both. Should I do the both, and then we'll save it for the other section two, or part two?
Sure,
Okay, ready for the both?
sure.
Mine's gonna be simple and sweet
Okay.
because people ask me this all the time. Will you ever teach? No, I will never teach tarot. I'm sorry, guys. I've been asked many times, and it's always a hard no. I just don't have the time. Um, I'm not somebody that will teach it. You can also learn on your own. It's much more easier to learn on your own than you think. So I won't. But I hope Kim does one day.
And I do. I do teach it at the church. In circle, I haven't for a while though, just because of life and things happening. But I absolutely, if I was able to get enough people interested, and I was able to find something that would work for everyone, I would do it virtually, and just even just some basics so people can learn. And I'm the type of person that when I'm teaching, I'm not really teaching, I'm just sharing. I'm a horrible teacher, absolutely horrible teacher. And so I'm just sharing the information and trying to give you the tools and to help you so that you can do the same. Because there is nothing
Mhm.
special about me at all. And so many people just come in so hard on themselves. And when I started this, that was the first thing I was like, I'm getting in my intuition, you got to take this class, you got to take this class. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
basically, I'm gonna crap the bed, there's no way I can do this. Right? That's what I said to myself. And I was like, you can't do that. And
Mm.
so I had a little fight with myself, and basically I said to myself, well then, I'm just going to show you that I'm going to crap the bed anyhow. And then
Yeah.
suddenly I started doing it, and here we go. So yeah, people need to stop doubting their abilities
Hmm.
and, being so hard on themselves, and realize, like with anything we've talked about, everything starts with baby steps.
Yeah.
You know,
So one day Kim will teach when she can figure it out.
when I can figure it out and have enough
But
people who want to. Yeah.
I have a quick question, and then we'll end it. But I just have one question to that. So teaching it virtually, do you think that that would be a challenge compared to how you teach it face to face? Like, do you
Absolutely
like
not.
you don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No.
interesting. Okay.
Well, look at the conversations we've had and things we've done.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
We've never
yeah.
been in the same room as each other. During COVID, I ran circle virtually. So, you
So
know,
do you have to, okay, sorry, second question. Okay. Then no more.
okay.
Sorry. Um so would you have to, because I know there's like not a system, like it's like a course, right? If you did it virtually online for people to learn with you, like some of our listeners, would you have to like augment the course in a sense because it's online? Like change some things up and no way.
No, just no. Because energy is energy, and it doesn't
That's
matter.
awesome.
It's the same reason why I can give somebody a reading in the UK, and I have.
Right?
I give
Hmm.
readings to people all over the world, and as
Hmm.
long as we're both awake and we've agreed to a time, I can do it. And it's not any different than if they're sitting with me. The only
Interesting.
person that it really matters is if you're sitting, is depends on how the people feel about that. At our church,
Got it.
Richard prefers to teach in person,
Understandable. Yeah.
and
Okay.
that's what he is. That's just how this virtual stuff wasn't, when he started the church in 2009. This wasn't as common as it is now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, he's a bit older, he's in his mid 70s. So, way he does stuff, and technology isn't really comfortable for him. Me, I'm comfortable with it. I might mess up and stuff like that, and like try to figure things out, as you all know, but I just kind of take it as a humorous thing, and um, that's it.
Got
But
it.
there's absolutely no way. Like, there's no way that it's different. It's just, some people prefer to do it in person. Some people would prefer to have
Yes.
it. I think a lot more people are wanting to do it online, virtually,
I
because
believe that.
you
Yeah, I
can fit
do.
it into your schedule better. You're not
Hmm.
driving to somewhere. You don't have to worry. Do I have gas in my car? Oh, do I need to pick up something before I go? How late's it going to be? No, you're wherever you're going to be, and you're there. And if you're home, you're not going far after. You're, going, to another room or to your room or whatever. That's fine. Right. And you're not putting a lot of extra energy into trying to figure out how you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
We have our schedules in our lives, we are so
Oh
packed all the
yeah.
time. And Nikki and I are both the same. I have church, I got my kids, I do mediumship
Full-time
readings, I
job.
got a full-time job, and various other stuff, and then just try to have a life on top of that.
Yeah.
And Nikki has 8 million and one things going as well. So, those are just, everybody is like that. So if we could just find a time that everybody works and to work with it, then that it virtual is, I think, way better.
See? So that's something that Kim might seriously look into for anybody wondering. A lot of people asking. Two of my good friends ask me all the time when Kim will do it online, when Kim will, how they can learn from Kim and stuff like that. That's why I wanted to save the question till the very last question because I knew what was going to happen with this one. So, and Kim will look into it, right?
Yeah, well, if
Into it?
people want to like message me, or get together, and bunch
Figure it
of
out. Yeah,
people
like,
decide they
work it
want to
out.
do
Yeah.
it, and say, hey, like, there's this group of us. I'm not going to do it for one or two, just
Oh yeah,
because
no, no,
that's
no,
it.
no.
It's a lot of work, and really, when you're doing these things and you're learning, it's better to have a few people, because even in circle we talk about it. When I was going, we it was always in person. You get to know each other's dead people,
I love it.
right? So it's not
That's
as
true.
easy. You start questioning, like, am I remembering this, or is this really coming to me? Like, it's
Right?
just, it
Yeah.
makes it, because you learn the dead people, Because like my grandma, she'll come to anybody at any time. And so, you know, like people need to have, you know, if somebody can push her out or whatever, and they can come in through instead. But yeah, you need to have a few people so that you can have more experience, because that's how you kind of build your path, like it's
Yeah.
pathways, right? So
Yep. Yep.
and that's, you know, you're 0 to 7 and then 7 to 14 and 14, you know, those ages, things are kind of going, and you kind of get your Rolodex gets filled up by working with other people,
Yeah.
because you're made like you're open to new different experiences and different
Yeah. When you're
stuff than
yeah.
what you've experienced. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's something that Kim will look into. And if you guys are interested, I mean, we already know 2 or 3 people that are. If you're interested, and just DM us or comment, put it on a comment, and we'll include you. And if Kim gets enough people, and I'll help Kim as well with this if she wants, because I think it would be a good experience for a lot of people, and it would be fun. And that's the most important thing, is that it's fun. Life is too serious
Yeah.
as it is, right? So it's why I wanted to end with this question. I'm going to say that again.
Well,
Anyway.
yeah, and you know, just to have someone there if you're working at it, you know, I've had people, this one lady, she had, I think she had come across a diamond or something. And actually it's quite funny because I remember this. She would just, she was one of those people, I never can get it, I never get anything. And then she said, well, all I get is a diamond and I don't get much else, maybe like a
Oh.
birthday cake or something. And so I said to
Oh.
her, I said, so diamond is like April's
Mm-hmm.
birth month,
Yep. Yep.
you know, for that thing. So, do you know somebody with a birthday in April? Yes, it was her. Right.
That's
So,
awesome.
like, you know, so just to have someone talk, and she was like,
Connecting.
oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, like it's just the little
Oh, I
things,
love
just
that.
having somebody, you know, so you can actually like kind of tease out what's coming through to you. So
Yeah.
you don't think you're just coming up with, you know, random stuff. You know, somebody else could come in, and Richard and I have done that. We've actually connected together to a spirit together. We've done uh duo
Mm-hmm.
messages from the same, we'll connect to the same spirit, but we'll both have different information.
That's awesome.
And you know, so I can kind of feel into the stuff that you're reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. So see, we'll look into it, everybody. Anyone that's interested, we'll look into it. Anybody who has questions that they want to throw our way for the second Q&A that we'll do, maybe in a month or so, throw it our way as well. We're gonna save the last two because I know this one's already almost an hour and 10 minutes long, but we're gonna save it. Any and all questions welcome. None of them are stupid, and
No.
clearly we'll answer them if they're personal. But if they're weird personal, I mean, don't get super explicit about our love lives and stuff. You'll probably never find that out, but like, we can do borderline personal. How's that? Right? Right?
Yeah.
Borderline personal. But please, if you enjoy this episode, like, share, comment, hit the little
Hit the little
Kim's
dingy
bell up
bell.
there. Yep, subscribe. I remembered
Subscribe.
this time.
Yes. Subscribe.
Subscribe, share it, share it. We like the feedback that we're getting. Don't be scared to put comments down. There's some people who give me feedback. I'm like, I was gonna comment, but I was like scared because I was like, what? Be scared to comment. We're not gonna delete your comments unless you're being a butthead, which
Yes.
none of you are.
No.
So just throw your comments
And
down.
it helps
Okay?
us if you're putting comments, it
100%.
does help us. It helps us with like algorithms, things like that. So if you're
Yes.
commenting and sharing and commenting apparently are the biggest. And
Yes.
I don't know if it's on YouTube, but I saw something recently like with TikTok. If something's on TikTok and you're watching it, before you like it, you should watch the whole thing.
Well, yeah. That's
Because
a
if you
given.
don't watch the
For
whole
your
thing and
algorithm.
you just go, oh hey, and you like something, it won't push it out. It'll be like, oh, this person just doesn't even watch stuff before they do it. So, you know,
Yeah.
watch through it before you do it, and then,
Yeah.
you know, comment and share, and that'll boost it up. And at some point when life gets a little more then I'll be going back and doing some TikTok lives. And just this last monthish has been very, very all over the place. So Playoffs are coming, so it'll have to work into that. But
Kim will be back on to do some medium lives because we've been having people asking,
mm,
and she will be on to do those lives. But yes, thank you everybody so much for
mm,
listening to this episode. Really, really appreciate you guys so much, and we will be back next week. Maybe that will be the one that Kim does the medium reading, so you guys can see that it's not so scary. But yeah, right, Kim?
yes.
Thank you so much, guys, and thank you to
Thank
everybody
you.
that had answered me and sent
Mhm.
all the questions in,
Yes, thank you for
because I
your
know you guys
questions.
are listening. So thank you so much. Really, we appreciate it, and some of them are really, really great.
Yes. And if you're asking, other people want to know. So thank
100%.
you.
100%. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.